Hello, everybody. Welcome to MangaPod. I'm Erin.
I'm Dodger.
And I'm Moeka.
And we are a podcast in which we get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking the classic and amazing shonen Yu Yu Hakusho, chapters 73 to 125.
Yarp.
Yep. If you guys have never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of what we read, as well as our spoiler-free recommendations. That way, if it sounds like something you're interested in, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section, so you will not be spoiled. We ask that nobody in chat post any spoilers for anything until we get to spoiler section, and once we are in spoiler section, please don't post any spoilers for anything past chapters 125. And in case you guys are wondering, just to give you an idea about where that is, we finished out the Dark Tournament arc and began the Black Saga arc. So, yeah, but no posting chapter spoilers till we get the spoiler section. So, cool. Dodger, would you like to read the description for Yu Yu? Because we know this is one of your faves.
I would love to. Yeah, I was gushing about it before we even started MangaPod. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay.
I have to apologize for that.
I have a hard time finding a short summary for this manga for some reason. I think when we read it last week, it was also long. So I will try to make this quick. Yusuke is a street-brawling delinquent with a tough guy approach to everything. He has a reserved seat in the guidance counselor's office, and numerous other delinquents in the city are constantly trying to take him on. To put things short, Yusuke is fed up with his life. But no one expects a sudden act of heroism on his part. He dies trying to save a little boy from a speeding car. When he arrives in the afterlife, he's informed that the child would have miraculously survived had it not been for him. The child would have one less scratch on his right arm. His act of heroism, therefore, was a complete waste. So Yusuke's premature death was unexpected and unnecessary. After numerous tests to gauge his worth, Yusuke is eventually revived and assigned to work for the spirit world as a detective investigating demon cases in the human world. He comes into spiritual abilities of his own and enlists the help of numerous friends. Yay!
That was beautiful. You did that so quick.
Thank you. It looked like 3 paragraphs, so I was like, let's go.
Let's do it. There are a few warnings for this series. I just remembered. Violence, gore, and body horror are the main ones, which, if you are familiar with shonen, tend to be a staple that come along with shonen manga. But also, just to give you guys the warnings, still, we would like you to know. Let's do spoiler-free recommendations. This, I feel like, everyone is going to know what we feel, but I think we should still do it just in case someone has not read Yu Yu Hakusho. So, who would like to go first?
Me, I'll go.
I was expecting either one of you just to jump in there real quick.
I know. I thought I'd take a back seat.
Yeah, same. I don't know. I do jump in a lot, maybe sometimes.
Okay.
No, I love it.
I will go. Yu Yu Hakusho is great. I've loved it for most of my life. It's one of my favorites. I adore the characters. I think it's a fun time. It is darker than, this is what I was talking about before MangaPod started, but it is darker than I think people expect from kind of a classic like shonen battle thing. But I love it. I think it's great. It's a good time.
Moeka?
I really enjoyed it. It was very formative for me in my early years. It really set a really high standard for shonen for me.
Yeah.
It also, rereading it, I was like, wow, I I see why I like my anime husbandos for a lot of them. Because of two specific characters that I won't spoil about until later. But yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's really interesting to see Togashi's like how, especially if you've seen or read Hunter x Hunter, it's like so interesting to go back and read some of his like more completed work. I don't know. It's just fun. It's really fun. It does get a little bit dark, but I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I actually have not read the manga. I watched the anime, but it was a very long time ago, so I don't remember a ton of details. So it's actually fun to go into this and get to read it. And I think for a manga that came out when it did, it has held up very well throughout the years. And reading it now, it feels just like a shonen that would be happening right now. And it really set the precedent for a lot of stuff. And I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you like a lot of modern day shonen. It has that same heavy darkness to it while also having really awesome fights and great characters too that you just fall in love with and root for and want to see more of. So I think it's definitely a series that should be checked out for any shonen fan for sure. And just in general, lots of people should read it. It's fun. It's a fun series. Cool. So that wraps up our spoiler-free section, unless there's anything else you guys would like to add before we go into spoiler.
I don't think so.
Cool. Let's do spoiler section.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All 4 main guys are God.
I mean, Koenma is technically God.
But Koenma is technically God.
Yeah, Koenma.
But not in my heart. Though he is technically. He is literally God.
Yeah, he's actually God Jr.
Oh my god, I forgot how hot he gets.
Little juniors, like big ol' form.
Oh my god, yeah.
I love that Togashi had the nerve to keep a pacifier on that man.
Right?
It's so fucking funny. It's so good.
Oh my goodness.
Really said, if you're gonna like him, you're gonna know.
Yeah. You're gonna feel the feelings.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I was gonna ask, and I feel like we might have touched on this the last time we read Yu Yu, but it's been a long time since we have talked about it, and so some people might not have seen our previous ones. So you guys have read Yu Yu a very long time ago. Is there anything that you remember that from the first time reading it, or how it influenced your reading habits of manga or anything like that throughout the years that you can remember, early on when you first read it or reread it?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I like the part of this reading, like the section that we literally read, the whole part with Kurama and like the reveal of Yoko Kurama and all of that, I had that burned into my brain when I was younger. I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened.
I was like, this is so cool. Also, what is this? Because I like this. And then my mom was like, do you mean like a crush? And I was just like, is that what it's called? But boys are gross. This one's not.
This one's not gross.
Oh my God.
This
Yeah,
one's
my mom
powerful
was
and
like,
beautiful.
Oh my God, you're such a weirdo. Yeah, that's a crush.
Yoko Kurama's on another level, though, dude. Like, I don't blame
my
you.
God, PA, though? Oh my god, my Shark King! Oh my god. It really did unlock a lot. This really did unlock a lot of memories because I was like, oh my god, it makes so much sense why I really was into Levi. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're so right. I can
It's
see
in
that.
vibes. It's in vibes.
100%.
Yeah. There's a lot of just panels in this. I want to say that this was the first time I was reading manga, and there were panels that I remember exactly what they look like even years later because I thought they were so cool and they had just such a vibe. Some in really good ways, like I remember all of the Yoko Kurama panels, but like some in terrifying ways, like some of the Toguro panels. So, yeah, I guess I would say that this manga was like the first one that had a pretty big impact on me. This and Parasite. For different reasons.
That's pretty cool, those two.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, Moeka.
No, I was gonna say you can go ahead. Give me more time.
Like I said, it was forever since I have watched the anime, and I think I was watching it was coming out on Toonami, so it was mostly the dub. And so getting to read this while knowing how much you two love it, and also personally having Hunter x Hunter as one of my top 5 anime, and knowing that the manga Hunter x Hunter is based off of is very similar to the anime, and the selling points and the best come from the fact that Togashi created it, makes me really look forward to reading Yu Yu anytime we do it. And so going into this section, I knew we were still in the tournament arc, and having watched Hunter x Hunter, Togashi is amazing at fights and the pacing of them and the excitement of them and the dynamics of them and making every single one special. And so just reading another tournament arc of his makes me really excited knowing that I'm going to go into that, and it's not disappointing at all. There's no like slogging along. He gets the point of the fight along, the action as well as the emotion. Like he never sits there and is like, here's long monologues between the characters where they just stand there and talk to each other. Like it may be minor, but most of the time they are showing the dialogue and the emotions while the emotions connect with the actual action, like the punches and the throwdowns and all of that. And that's a really impressive thing to be able to do because he balances them together, whereas a lot of people do have struggles with that and have to pause and have those monologues in between.
I completely agree with you. The fights always feel like they are just as long as they need to be or should be.
Mm-hmm. And they... Oh, sorry.
Nope, go for it.
I was going to say they vary depending on who is in the fight as well. Like depending on what needs to happen within the fight with the specific characters varies in length. Like there's a few that are just like, oh, that was a chapter. Okay, done. And they also have... Because they don't, like I was saying, they don't drag out. Whereas a lot of time when you're reading shonen, you expect, oh, he got punched and he's out. Oh, no, he's back. Oh, he got punched and oh, no, he's back. And you expect that to happen like 5 or 6 times with every single fight. And we definitely had that a few times here, but it still didn't feel like extensively or unnecessarily long either. But what were you going to say, Dukes?
Oh, I don't remember. It's okay.
Oh.
No, I don't think that it was important. Don't worry.
Oh.
So yeah, we're like, at the start of the reading this time, we were about halfway through the dark tournament. We're kind of in the middle of the Jin fight.
Yes.
Who I love. I love him.
Oh my gosh. I do too.
And we kind of quickly moved on to all of them being like, all right, we gotta get stronger so that we can actually survive the rest of this. So Kuwabara got his better sword, and Kurama got his turn hot juice, and
turn hot seed.
Yeah. Yusuke barfed up blood in a cave for like 2 days, and
yep.
And as far as we saw, Hiei punched the ground a lot until he punched the ground and it was big enough that he was satisfied.
Zooms out and it's just a bunch of holes he's been punching.
Well, there was it was a place where Toguro had punched, right? And so he was I think, yeah, if I recall correctly, it was somewhere where Toguro had done something, and so he went out there and was trying to like make as big of an impact, and was just like, God damn it. Like every time he punched, it was all tiny next to Toguro's.
Okay. Oh, that makes way more sense. I like that.
Yeah. And they all came back strong.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Strong.
And Kuwabara immediately got teleported, if I recall correctly.
Oh my god. Like twice. Like he just like gets knocked out. It's like, oh bye.
Yeah.
But like Kuwabara like could be so annoying, but he's so annoyingly endearing.
He's very
like
endearing. I agree.
Never want him gone. I want him always to be there.
Yeah.
Which can happen so easily with his type of character where it's like, guess we don't need you. You're worthless. Whereas Kuwabara does serve purpose 100%. And actually did think he died.
Oh.
Like I said, I don't remember. And so I was like, oh my god, they killed him because they just killed the old lady.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Genkai had just died.
So, yeah, Genkai just died. And so I was sitting there going, holy shit, they actually did it. Like, pulled a Dragon Ball Z and legit just, like, killed Kuwabara. But he did it. He came back, and it was the best way for him to come back.
Yeah.
Him just being like, hey, I wasn't actually dead.
Yeah,
but don't tell him I'm not dead. Let me pretend to be dead.
I know, but that whole fight, like the emotion in that fight felt so earned. Like we're so far into the story and they've gotten so close that for him to potentially be dead, it was such a good catalyst, like with how their relationship started. It was such a good catalyst for that to be the reason that he like unlocks his power, I thought that it was great.
Especially since it had already been shown the danger, Botan and, what's the girl's name? Kyoko? What's the girl?
Oh, his sister? Kuwabara's sister?
No, Yusuke's love interest.
Oh, Keiko.
Okay.
They had already shown that Keiko, Botan, and the other girls were being threatened by the other team, and so there's definitely a moment where it's like, oh, they're the ones that are going to be attacked, and then for it to be Kuwabara was so much more satisfying, and emotion of it earned, like you said.
Yeah,
it was a twist.
I know.
Also, when the weaker demons tried like ganging up on the girls when they were like coming back to the tournament area, it was so oh my gosh, I loved it when I was younger, especially that the girls like beat up on them.
Yeah, the girls fought back, dude.
Dude, I loved it. It was so good.
Yes.
I found that to be really like subversive when I was a kid, because Yukina is like the only one that's, you know, a proper demon, and she's like, oh, should we be doing this? This is kind of guys. Like the humans are the ones who are just beating the shit out of the other demons.
Yes.
I love it.
So funny.
Yeah, how did you guys feel about all of the story we got about Genkai?
Oh, my heart.
I know.
Oh, my heart.
I was very sad. I also thought when I first read it, I also thought she was gone. Which actually, going back to how like this is, I don't know, this was like this manga is so influential. Like you still to this day see so many reference to it. Specifically when and this trope is what I now associate with Yu Yu Hakusho specifically, but like in JJK, when they do the whole, oh, this, or not just JJK, but like other shonen specifically, it's like, oh, this character's dead now, and then it's like everybody's sad for like a quick second, and then it's just like, JK, look, he's fine. We saw it in this with Kuwabara.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's such an I don't know, God, Togashi just freaking banger after banger, because it's just done so well, and like it's like we said, things really do not overstay their welcome in this. It's like it was such a short thing, but it still cracks me up, and I can't even even when other series like do make it a little bit longer than I would like it still cracks me up because I have such fond memories of Yu Yu Hakusho.
I know, me too. Yeah, I love that it took basically after the whole fight and everything was done for all of them to like sit and unpack everything and go, do you guys think like do you guys think Genkai and Toguro were like smooching a long time ago? Yeah. Was that a thing? I was like, oh my god, as the reader, it's like so obvious that that's probably the case, but like I love that they all had to take a minute and be like, wait, was that what was going on there?
No, but it does, it's done so well, because when you think about it from the perspective of like, these are teen boys who really don't think about romance at all. Like they really are like, I'm gonna get stronger.
Yeah, they really are just battle boys. It's true.
So it's like the fact that they sat down to even like consider that about Genkai really shows how much they care about her.
Yeah.
So it's like. And it's funny because rereading it, it's so obvious. But also when I was like younger, I also did like, I was a kid. I didn't care about romance.
Yeah,
so yeah. Wait, maybe, I guess it does gently push that like, oh, hey, like this is why you were seeing flashbacks of these two characters specifically.
Right. Yeah, it didn't feel super, I guess it had just the right amount of subtlety.
Yeah,
but
it's just so well done.
Wait, I know that this is off topic, but I'm thinking of it now, and I just feel like I need to say it. Can we talk about when Yusuke and Toguro were about to fight, and Toguro's brother like popped up from the ground, and Toguro just like smushed him into nothing and was like, cool, now we can fight. And Yusuke smiled and was like, yeah, let's do that fight now. And I was like, is that not horrifying that he just obliterated his brother in front of you?
Yeah, I don't. Oh my god.
Like, are they that desensitized at that point?
I guess so. Oh my god, it's so funny though, because it is right. It's like, and I guess like that's what some of the darker stuff in this series. Like sometimes I'm just not expecting it, because like some of the body horror, like with the Toguros, is like there is like that parasite moment where he like starts pulling himself back together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
God,
And
so good.
and when situations like that happened where it was like a person is literally punching a person to smithereens. It's drawn. They draw body bits and stuff, and there are lots of different scenes where somebody's arm gets cut off or something, and the person, you can see stuff like coming out of the arm. So yeah, that the sort of like gorier aspect is not shied away from at all, which I always forget until I come back to this, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, this is also like unrelated, but I do like that in the manga there are like just one or two pages dedicated to doing random like puzzles.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, Yusuke beat up these two, and this one lost, and this one placed this one. Which one's lying? It's like little puzzles like that. It's like, and it's like 2 question things that they ask. It's like, which one is telling a lie, the rest are being truthful. 1, who's lying? 2, what's the order that they won this tournament in? And then it's just like they give you the answers like in the next volume. But oh my gosh,
right.
it's so funny. It's completely unneeded, but I don't know what about it. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, and the chapters that ended with like kind of more realistic, almost like doodles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You can tell it's drawn by the same person and yet is like a very different style,
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait till we get to art for it.
We can talk about it now if you wanna.
Only if you want to, guys.
It's up to you. Is it something that is like specific to the section we're talking about, or is it just overall art stuff?
No, it's just overall art stuff.
Okay, we can wait till we get there then, as long as you don't forget it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, I think my favorite part of this reading, aside from just the nostalgia bomb of being like, it's Yoko Kuraman! He is doing dragon stuff! I adore the section immediately after the Dark Tournament because they like out loud say exactly what you as a reader are thinking. They go back, they go to school, they're skipping class, they're having like little brawls in the street, and you as the reader are like, really? We're just right back to this? Really?
We're back here?
We're just gonna go to school like everything's fine? Street punks are gonna show up and be like, hey, are you Urameshi? I hear you're the toughest kid in town. Let's fight. Like, what? He's gonna murder a guy, right? And I love that they out loud kind of like say that stuff. Like when they go through all this rigmarole to try and find Hiei because Urameshi is missing. And Hie's like, why the fuck? Why are we worried about him? Like, surely he's fine. If he fucked up, then it's his fault. Like, do you guys remember what we were literally just doing? How did he get kidnapped by a normie? Like, I don't have time for this. I just found that whole thing so funny.
Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
I agree. That was a nice little break in between to like bring us back to the real world, and then also lead into the next section we're getting. Sorry, I had to go run real quick. There was something I wanted to talk about.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, let's backtrack.
Yeah, so we were you guys were mentioning like how dark it can get in the blood and body horror and stuff. I wanted to add that I really, when I went into it, was not remembering or expecting it to be as grotesque as it got to be. Especially the guy that Kuwabara faced off against in the final fight. Just ultimate, like, eyes going, stretching places, and face, and like tendons and teeth, and when his older brother Toguro like punches him and just destroys his whole face in.
Yeah.
It was very like Akira-esque, and it was just so gross, but really, really cool. And so I definitely wasn't expecting as much of the body horror as we got, and it was very gruesome. It wasn't censored or held back. It was, lots of chopping and stabbing and blood going everywhere and eating people and blood faces sprouting and teeth and stuff. Just all of that. That was really great. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. So I just wanted to make sure I added that in since I heard you guys were talking about the body horror of the series too. Also, something Togashi is really good at is the monster-esque characters and how their bodies look and designs are. And so the Toguro in the last fight, the way his body just like expanded and looked so gross was really neat. As his power increased, you just see his body get freakier and freakier.
I know.
And, like, genuinely terrifying. Like, a very scary design.
Yeah, he gets harder and harder to look at. I've always felt that way.
Exactly, yes. Which is exactly what Togashi was probably going for with it. Like, how uncomfortable can I make the reaher?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, basically. Well, like, I mean, you know, with all of these manga out that have people who are like, yes, I have rippling muscles. Like, how do you truly get across, like, this guy was already strong and then decided he wanted to be stronger, so he gave up his humanity. How do you get that across with how he looks as he gets more and more powerful? And I think he nailed it.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else having to do with like specifically the dark tournament that we didn't touch on really.
Yeah, I feel like we touched on the major stuff.
There's a lot of character growth that happened.
For sure.
A lot of powering up. And I think that's what's so interesting about like Yu Yu Hakusho is like some of the like character growth isn't just physical. Some of it is like mental changes that the characters have gone through. And you especially see it in this section with like Urameshi and Pooh. It's like, Pooh like hatches, and then that segment where it's like Pooh's like is fed by your soul, so what you quote unquote feed him is how he'll be. He's a reflection of you, and so when he's bringing him water, he's just like fucking weak ass punk, and then he's like, "Oh wait, that's me. I need to be stronger." I don't know. It's so cute. Oh, I love seeing him grow.
Yeah,
it's so satisfying. That's the word. So satisfying.
Yes, love it when characters experience like it wasn't quick growth, and it was very. I agree. I thought it was very nice growth. It didn't feel unearned. I love it when growth is earned.
Do you guys want to move on to the next section?
Yeah. Let's talk about that Black Saga. Big ol' oh, bye. Big ol' hole thing, right?
Big ol' hole thing.
The big ol' hole thing. I like how the rescue Yosuke arc led right into that, because we're seeing that other humans are developing powers.
Yes.
So that was really interesting how it's expanding into the human realm and getting the other humans more involved into things.
Yeah, I like that too, because it, especially as kind of a follow-up to like what I was talking about before, like we've been in this dark tournament arc for so long, and then they just kind of go back to like normal life. I think that a good way to do that was for it to be like, yeah, they're gonna try to just do things like normal, it's that part's done. They're going back to the normal shit, and immediately you realize, like, no, the world you came back to isn't normal anymore. Stuff has been developing while you've been gone, which I think is very neat.
Yes. And then the three dudes, I did enjoy how Genki was like, you gotta fight people in different ways, because people are not just going to tell you what their powers are.
Yeah.
Like, yes, because that happens so often, especially in shonen, where it's like, let me show you my power, where I develop birds and they pluck your eyes out. Wait, gonna be so surprised. Like, no, wasn't surprising at all.
Yeah, that's so true. If I had a power and I was trying to do sneaky shit with it, I wouldn't tell anybody what my power was.
Yeah. So it's nice that they're practicing against that and show that that's a thing, that if you do that, you're dumb.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to find other ways to fight against opponents. And then it leads into speaking of, like, terrifying, the big old tall, scary dude that we see at, like, near the beginning of the arc, there's that panel where the guy who can hear thoughts just starts hearing these evil thoughts and sentences, and he's like, where are they coming from? And he points to the guy that they're coming from, and it's that tall dude with dark hair. And then the guy just, like, looks over at him and then shoots him in the head. Did you know that panel? The panel I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what panel you mean.
That scared me.
Oh.
It was just like, boom, boom. It wasn't even like the face was on the next page. It was normal panel, right below it, the terrifying face. I don't know if it goes back to my fear of, like, faces in windows or something, but it was also drawn very terrifyingly. Like, it's a very terrifying panel. And the art style on it, I think, because it's so dynamic, because between those two, it's different in that suddenly the lines are thicker, there's more shading, there's more contrast within the shadows on the face. And the expression of the eyes, even though it's a very simple eye, it's just like the outline and a circle on the inside. But the way that the shadows are surrounding every part of it was very scary. I was like, I do not like this person.
Yeah. I do think that they're not used super often, but occasionally you can tell Togashi really, like, wanted you to get a sinister vibe from a character and goes all out on a panel.
Yeah, I mean, it's also it's so interesting too, because I feel like certain horror manga, like, have a very distinct look, and like, Togashi has that, like, is able to do that look when he needs it to, like, convey, like, oh, this is horrifying. So when you have in that scene that Erin brought up, like, the girl screaming, like, I'm like, oh my god, like, this so reminiscent of, like, a lot of horror manga that I read,
Yeah.
style-wise. So it's so good. Oh my god, Togashi. It's crazy to think about. He put out Yu Yu Hakusho in its entirety in like 4 years. That's
Yeah,
crazy
he went
to me.
hard.
Gosh, he's just so good. I feel so bad for all the health stuff he's going through.
I know. Yeah.
Mhm.
'Cause he's a brilliant storyteller.
For sure.
He is. Yeah, and he started publishing when he was like in his early 20s, which I feel like back then that's kind of crazy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and then we had the doctor.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say we had the doctor dude show up with the bugs.
With all the bugs, dude.
Why? We don't always need mosquitoes.
I know, dude.
Togashi
I hate mosquitoes
this
so
man's
much.
gonna be hot, but he's gonna have bugs. Dude, I feel like Togashi's like that. He's just like, yeah, have this super hot guy, but also here's the downside.
Oh my god.
God, maybe Togashi just really likes bugs because he had the whole Chimera Ant arc
That's true.
in
That is
Hunter.
true.
Maybe he's just fascinated with bugs.
Look,
or
bugs
he just
are
knows
cool.
Bugs are great. Oh my! We went to a birthday party on Saturday, and the house has a little playground in the backyard with some sand and dirt.
Okay.
And so Kaylee and Elliot were out there playing, and then they come in out of nowhere and are like, "Look what we have!" And I look, and they just have roly-polies.
Yeah.
And they brought them into the house, and I was like, let's go back outside with those. We go outside, and then Kaylee's like, look how many I have. And I'm not kidding you. She had like 10 just crawling all over her hands and her arms. She's like, they're so cool. And trying not to freak my children out, even though I hate bugs. I'm like, so awesome.
Oh.
They're so great. Just please don't bring them back into the house.
Oh,
maybe,
poor
maybe
Erin.
that's gonna be her. That's gonna be like the thing that makes her. Maybe that's gonna be her thing in the future. You know, maybe she's gonna make a manga and she's gonna be like, "I'm gonna make bugs." Crying.
This is
I'm
off
so
topic,
proud.
but if she really really likes those and you don't ever want to have to like touch them but let her look at them, we got Clark a isopod, like a roly-poly terrarium. Basically, you literally don't ever have to open it or do anything with it. They just chill and live in there.
Ooh.
And it's pretty cool. So yeah, as an option, so that you don't have to like be in the bug zone, but Kaylee can look at the bug zone.
Oh, that's smart. Kaylee and Elliot both. Elliot had a moment of like 2 months where he would cry if he saw a fly because he was scared of them. And so, but now all of a sudden he's like, look at all these bugs.
Oh, sweet.
So that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
They love bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
I took us on the detour.
A little bird walk.
A little
We went on a
bird walk. Yeah.
Should we talk about art?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Or did you guys have anything else about the doctor? Sorry, I kind of distracted us.
Oh, no. I didn't have anything else about
No.
the doctor. Oh,
Wait, I have something about.
You first.
Mine is really quick. Another thing that I like is that at the beginning of the like volumes, there's like little tidbits about Togashi himself and his like personal life sometimes. And I thought it was funny that in this section of reading, they had one where it was like pervert. And then it's like him being like, yeah, I get told that I like very specific women, but really I think I have a very diverse like. And then he starts listing off for 2 volumes for the little section a bunch of different women he likes in like anime and real life. And it's just, oh my god, it's so funny.
Oh, that's so funny.
I was what the little thing that I was gonna say was I love how quickly you realize that the fact that Hiei is Yukina's brother is like the worst kept secret, and yet Kuwabara has no fucking idea, and Yukina has no fucking idea, but like everyone else basically knows. He was like, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. And then they just all told each other, but Kuwabara and Yukina don't know. I love that. Every time I reread or rewatch this, I love that because it's so silly.
So silly, but it works because of who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So funny.
But yeah, art.
Oh, yes. That's where we were. My brain went, did we? Where are we? Yeah.
I can go first. I love the art. I have a really hard time sometimes going back to older works. Even when they're very influential, because I feel like sometimes the art does not hold up that well, but gosh darn it, Mr. Togashi's style is just so iconic. It's so well done. Like when during the section of reading, even like the girls, their design, like the monster designs, it's so beautiful. Like it's so pretty. I just was stunned. I had to like stop reading and just like appreciate the art a lot of time for the section reading, and it's like it just holds up so well. And it's just a lot of the clothing is so fashionable. I remember, like, as a teen, I would try to replicate some of the stuff that the characters. So I was like, oh, this is so doable IRL. That's weird. Because a lot of anime stuff, or like anime and manga back then, it was like, I was like, I can't be dressing up like Inuyasha or Kagome. But no, it's just like it's so beautiful, it's so stylish. It holds up even today so well. There's so much charm,
Yes.
Oh god, that's my work alarm. Sorry.
I was like, do I need to wake up?
No,
that's my alarm
that's
too.
my work alarm. That's my hey, but it's Monday, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking the same. Basically, everything you just said is what I was thinking as I read it. And something that's really impressive about Togashi's art is how most of it, especially stuff when it's not fighting, it's very simplistic. Like, it's not, like, he definitely has details when he really wants to get something across, but it's very simplistic for how well he's able to tell emotions with the characters. And there's a lot of times where he doesn't even draw a background. There's a lot of just white background happening, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't affect the flow of the series. It's not noticeable unless you're like really looking at it, but it's because of how well his pacing and the drawing of the characters and the body horror and things like that, how much detail he puts into those specifically. But yeah, I feel like a lot of it is just, oh, this looks really clean and really great. It's not like Oisama Poon Poon style or level of detail, but it does exactly what it needs to do, and I think it's held up too, like you said. And I love the character too. Like, the character designs I feel are pretty iconic at this point and don't look outdated at all. I just really like the art, and it fits it so good.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say sometimes when Togashi's doing like one of those panels where the face is super duper ultra shaded, sometimes the face proportions get kind of wonky, but like I'm fine with it. Like a lot of times it feels like your perception of the character on that panel is supposed to be kind of weird anyway, so I allow it. But yeah, I think overall there's a lot of consistency there and a lot of cleanliness. I do think there's you can always tell by the way that everyone's being drawn whether or not a chapter is kind of more lighthearted. There's definitely two ways that each character is drawn. There's like a goofy way and a non-goofy way.
Yes.
Or like the difference between Hiei when he's supposed to be a badass and Hiei when he's just vibing. Like sometimes he literally is just drawn like a little angry kid. It just makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Little pout.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the art overall is good.
Yeah, it's very, like, it fits the series so well, too. Like, I feel like with a lot of newer shonen stuff I read, sometimes I feel like the character designs aren't distinct enough, so it does feel a little same-facey at times, and I have a hard time, like, especially if the cast is a bit bigger, it's hard to tell, like, who's who. But in, like, I don't know, Togashi's style is just so, like, bang on that I never had, like, you know who Hiei is, you know who Kurama is, you know who Rameshi is, you know who Kuwabara is. It's just, oh my god, it's so good. So good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, this is kind of going back, but I really
okay.
do enjoy too that we had that section with Genkai where it's like growing old is not a bad thing.
Yes.
Like, growing old, like even if you technically are becoming weaker in age, whatnot, like there is a beauty and a strength in that, and like trying to stay quote unquote youthful, like, is not all that people make it out to be. And I thought that was very beautiful.
Yeah, I really loved that too, because Toguro is so obsessed with like being at his prime, quote unquote, and like he really shits on Genkai for getting older, and I love that she's like proud that she got older, you know.
I really like that because you don't see a lot of aging people in shonen. It's always like high school kids, strictly high school kids.
Also, that it did also, like, man, you really do see the influence from Yu Yu Hakusho and other shonen, because it's so I didn't realize, like, this was my first time seeing the whole, like, hey, this older character is now younger vibe. And you see that in Naruto with Tsunade, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" This unlocked so many memories. Oh my gosh!
Aww,
Can't get over it. I can't get over it.
I love it. Bringing back nostalgia
For sure,
Yeah.
big time.
Is there anything else you guys want to bring up?
No, I think
don't think
we got it all for this section of reading, anyways. Yeah.
Cool. Should we do vibes?
Sure.
Vibratings.
We can go first if that's okay.
Yeah.
I really vibed with this even after like 2 decades. It's wonderful. I love the characters. It really like when you from an outside, like when you're looking into it from like the surface level, like and you summarize things, it doesn't feel like an amazing series. It feels like, oh, this seems like pretty, like, whatever, kind of standard. But I don't know. It's, like, just so well done that I don't know. I really vibed with it. The biggest vibe out of a vibe.
Yeah, I'm willing to say, like, anytime I read, watch anything Yu Yu Hakusho related, there's a huge aspect of nostalgia there for me. But I legitimately do think that it holds up. I think it's really, really good. Big vibes, big nostalgia vibes. I don't know. I would be so curious to know what, like, somebody who had, like, a younger person who's only experienced, like, kind of more modern anime and manga, like, how something like this would be for them, if it would still be good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder about that sometimes, but I think it's great.
Yeah, as I was reading it, I was the same, where I was like, I just am so interested in what a different generation would think about it, because the series is so much older, and be interesting. But I vibe with it too. I just think it's a standout series that sets a precedent for a lot of future shonen, and it still holds up, which is a big feat for a series that came out in the 90s, because there's a lot of manga that came out back then that have influenced a lot of aspects of manga nowadays, but the story itself may not hold up entirely. And I think Yu Yu does a very good job of doing that. And the pacing of it is exceptional. The storytelling that Togashi does is amazing. He's just such a good, like I said earlier, just such a brilliant storyteller and knows what he is doing. And it's so fun too. It's everything you want from a shonen, because it kind of set the precedent for a lot of the stuff. And it's just really fun, and the characters are memorable and lovable, and I just think it's a series that everybody should read, and I vibe with it so hard. I hard vibe with it. So
great.
Yeah, we all recommend you guys check it out if you have not. That wraps up our discussion of Yu Yu Hakusho, chapter 73 to 125. And what we are going to do now is read the description for what we are reading next week. And you guys in chat get to guess what it is. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
After a disastrous defeat at the blank, Japan's team struggles to regroup, but what's missing? An absolute blank who can guide them to the wind. The blank is hell-bent on creating a blank who hungers for goals and thirsts for victory, and who can be the decisive instrument in turning around a losing match. And to do so, they've gathered 300 of Japan's best and brightest blank. Who will emerge to lead the blank? And will they be able to out-muscle and out-ego everyone who stands in their way? Give me the blanks.
Actually, oh shoot, somebody got it.
They
so
got
fast.
it.
Woo!
Blue
Buy me
Lock.
tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are going, yep, it is a sports manga. It is Blue Lock. We're going to be reading volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 31 is what we'll be talking about next. Let's go around and shout out our stuff really quick. I'm Happily Erin, and as somebody who creates the splash screen, I would like to call out that I spelled my own name wrong. I doubt anybody noticed, but there's supposed to be 3 E's.
Yeah, I did not notice that somehow.
I noticed it earlier, and I was like,
wait,
that's how...
has it always been that way?
3 E's?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
has it always been
No, on
spelled
the
wrong?
Overlay.
on the overlay?
I don't know.
No!
I
Amazing.
thought it was on purpose. I was
No.
like, oh, maybe she changed it.
No, it was an accident.
Oh.
It's like, there's been times where I've, like, accidentally answered a customer's email and spelled my name like Ernie. And then they've written back, like, that's an interesting name. I'm like, yep,
Wait,
that's
I gotta go
me,
check the card.
Ernie. Yeah, I'm interested to know if it's been forever. But, yeah, Happily Erin is supposed to be HAPPILEEERIN. You can find me as Happily Erin across the everything, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, where previous manga pods are. And I have a book that came out last year. If you want to go check out, it's an LGBTQ fantasy, dragons, and all sorts of fun stuff. So, and I forgot to say this before I talked about myself. If you'd like more MangaPod, we have a website, mangapod.card.co, and that is 2 art, so you can go and check that out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I drink coffee, and I play games, and I talk about D&D. So if you want to come hang out, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Moeka. I like to do a lot of things. I love anime manga. I'm a VTuber on the weekends now, I guess, since I primarily stream then. On occasion, though, I do stream on the weekdays. I like to vibe, be cozy. I'll play you some, like, chill lo-fi music if you're into that or need background noise. I got you. So if you're interested in that, check me out at pretty much at MegaMoeka on most social media platforms.
Hey. Cool. I did want to shout out our Twitter as well. You can go ahead over there, and that will let you know if we are, like, changing how much we're reading or if we are changing the time or the date for the series. Check that out. Otherwise, thank you all so much for joining us for talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, chapters 73 to 125. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. We will be here next time talking Blue Lock volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 31, and we hope that you join us. Thank you all.
Yeah. And our MangaPod, or our Twitter is at MangaPod. I don't know if that got mentioned.
Oh, yes.
But my brain was like, just in case I would need it.
That's a good thing to add instead of just being like, hey, Twitter, we're there.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Cool. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay. Thanks so much for watching,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.